On n'a plus de capsule. Le sous-marin est hors service.
Subaquatic adventure with France's leading man in Hollywood, Uganda's creative cinema scene, and a visit to the holy grail of musical theatre. Well, that's all coming up in today's show. We're starting off with an actor who stormed French cinema 25 years ago in La Haine. Since then, Vincent Cassel's career has gone from strength to strength. His latest film, Underwater, hits cinemas here in France this week. And the deep-sea science fiction thriller sees him playing alongside Kristen Stewart. As well as bringing you a preview of the film, Catherine Kadir-Clifford takes a look at Vincent Cassel's path to Hollywood.
See you all in a month.
Here we go.
A king of French cinema, making waves on the other side of the pond. In Underwater, Vincent Cassel plays the head of a team of deep-sea researchers trapped 7 miles deep by an earthquake.
On a scale from 1 to 10, how bad's my rig?
10. We drilled to the bottom of the ocean, and we don't know what came out.
It was Cassel's diverse portfolio of Hollywood roles that won him this one. But despite being the Frenchman to have shot the most in Hollywood over the past 15 years, in the US, he's far from being the household name he is at home.
I'm much less well known in the States, so all of a sudden I'm not the big star anymore, so it gets my feet back on the ground. Often in English language films, I'm the French or Russian villain, and this time it's more of a father-like reassuring role that they offered me.
Master thief in the Oceans trilogy, brutish gangster in Eastern Promises, assassin in Jason Bourne, and sleazy choreographer in Black Swan. American cinema's interpretation of the Frenchman is ripe for exploration. But the Underwater team was seduced by Cassel's calm demeanor during a challenging shoot.
Vincent's like kind of the epitome of like alpha Frenchman, sort of like, what's wrong? Everything's fine.
Suddenly I feel like I've become France's informal ambassador for Camembert or the Eiffel Tower. Often I'll tell people, yeah, we the French, we still got it. It's a bit uncomfortable for me, so I'll try to get around it with a certain panache.
We're just gonna walk with insufficient oxygen across the bottom of the ocean.
You don't know what's out there.
With Underwater, Vincent Cassel adds a science fiction film to his US portfolio.
What was that?
Turn your lights off.
This new underwater action thriller looks sure to suck genre fans into its depths.
Pulling me underwater!
We're staying with cinema now, although it's not Hollywood or even Bollywood. Wakaliwood is named after its home in the Wakaliga neighbourhood of the Ugandan capital, Kampala. The films that come out of it are usually produced for less than €200 each, and they look unlike anything we're used to seeing in mainstream movies. Brian Quinn tells us more.
This Kampala slum may seem an unlikely place to have its own genre of cinema. But it's the home of Wakaliwood, where some of the world's lowest budget action films are made. Named for the Ugandan capital's Wakaliga slum, Wakaliwood's films may be over the top, but they're made for peanuts.
Cut.
They're shot here, in the backyard of ASIIMWHE, Wakaliwood's creator and director. All materials used are salvaged. Films have an average budget of less than €200.
Action!
Their elements are classic: kung fu, stunts, guns, and plenty of laughs.
Action is a language, an international language. For me, I call it action comedy. It is always comedy. It is always, you have to watch my movie while you are laughing, you are entertained.
Technicians and actors like APPOLO ASIIMWHE aren't paid enough to make a living from their passion, but it's still worth it.
I love it so much.
Why?
Because it is action, and I'm one of the big gangsters in this movie.
The final result, a breathless pace with daring, if DIY, special effects. ASIIMWHE has already made some 50 films in less than 15 years, making him one of the world's most prolific directors. Before that, he made bricks for construction.
First computer, I bought it from the savings of, the bricks I used to make, the same with the software. It was not easy for me to find the software.
He uses the talent at hand in the slum, like that of Dauda Bisasu, a mechanic who's now a prop master. It's the law of Wakaliwood, making the best of very few resources. The results are plain to see. Wakaliwood is now legendary in Uganda. Each time a new film comes out, teams do street promotion, selling DVDs at 50 cents a piece. APPOLO ASIIMWHE, who usually works as a fruit seller, earns 10 cents for each one he sells. By selling DVDs, licensing films to local television stations, and screening them in local cinemas like this one, each Wakaliwood film brings in a few thousand euros, helping dozens of the slum's residents. Wakaliga's youngsters, meanwhile, are busy brushing up on their kung fu in the hopes that they might be Wakaliwood's next big stars.
It's been 4 years since the death of David Bowie, who released his final studio album, Black Star, in January 2016. Since then, fans have had to content themselves with a handful of live album releases. But this year, some of his unheard tracks are set to go public. A digital EP called Is It Any Wonder is being gradually revealed with weekly singles. Here's a taste of one of those songs, a new version of The Man Who Sold the World.
I thought you died alone a long, long time ago. Oh no, not me. I never lost control. Your face to face with the man who sold the world.
And there will be another of David Bowie's live session albums released this year. That's coming out on Record Store Day in April. Next, we're going to Broadway. These days, it's an adjective, a noun, an evocative byword for a performance style, but it's also still very much a street and the most visited site in New York City. Every year, millions of people flock to its dozens of theatres to catch classic musicals like The Phantom of the Opera or newer sellout shows like Hamilton. Delano D'Souza takes a look.
In the heart of New York City lies a street known around the world. Broadway is a must-see for visitors and the ultimate goal for aspiring artists. The Mecca of musicals offers up everything from love stories to adaptations, and there's one production that's gone uninterrupted for 32 years.
I've seen the Phantom of the Opera when I was 6 years. I remember that it was a great show, so I decided to wanted to see it again.
The Majestic Theatre is home to Phantom of the Opera, where the musical's lead Megan Pacherno is getting ready backstage.
I need to warm up a little bit and slow because I'll actually use the show itself to warm up. So by Act 2, which is the most emotional and the biggest, I'm warm and ready to go. This show is a juggernaut. It is a marathon. And like to every Christine that has done this, you know, Christine is on stage for almost 2 hours and she constantly is singing, constantly moving. When she's off stage, she's getting in and out of costume. There is no rest.
Broadway is one of the city's biggest success stories. Every day, 40,000 tickets are sold and theatres are nearly always filled to capacity. Broadway also rakes in an estimated 12 billion euros annually for the city, and the records keep breaking.
It's a natural escape. People look at their computers and their cell phones all day long, and at a certain point they want to be in a location with live people laughing and crying and experiencing whatever it is that live entertainment provides that nothing else provides.
Don't pray.
The musical Oklahoma is the latest production to hit Broadway, and it places the stage in the center of the theater. Tickets cost an average of €130 and the audience always leaves enthralled.
The calibre of what the performers do and the slickness and the diligence in every single aspect. Not a single moment's dropped in anything that we've seen here.
The road to success isn't always easy. New York is brimming with talented actors all hoping to catch a break and end up in the limelight on Broadway.
We're wrapping up the show with a more static sort of spectacle, the HARBIN International Ice and Snow Sculpture Festival. 220,000 cubic metres of ice are used to create installations and activities at the event in China's Heilongjiang province, where visitors can also ski, skate and play ice soccer. We'll leave you with a stunning mix of fire and ice, a glimpse of the sculptures illuminated for the festival's opening ceremony. Do remember to check out our website for more arts and culture, and you can keep up with us on social media too. There's more news coming up on France 24 just after this.